Yeah. I live in this truck. Yeah.
Originally, we were looking for an RV or maybe even a trailer. We didn't know what we wanted, but we knew we did not want to buy a house because, well, why didn't we want to buy a house?
Because it was basically an overpriced box of debt. You know, I don't ever really remember wanting to live in a house. I mean, even when I was younger, it seemed, I don't know, too stale, too still. I didn't really think about what that freedom meant until I got older and understood the value of money, to be shackled by it. Originally, we were looking for an RV or a trailer. We knew that buying a house in SoCal was basically like buying an overpriced box of debt.
Originally, in a world.
My boyfriend is now Batman.
Pain. So we looked at some options. We were very close to buying a $6,000 trailer. Why did we need to say $6,000? It was cheap though. I remember thinking like, oh, we could pay this off.
We should have bought that $6,000 trailer.
This is like $30,000 and still building.
We still would have found a piece of land and nobody would have called the cops thinking we're a meth lab.
Originally, we were looking for an RV or a trailer. We knew that buying a house in SoCal was like buying an overpriced box of debt. I did that pretty good. You're fucking up your line right now. Somebody has a line.
We were both working. Oh, that's not my line. I don't remember ever really wanting a house. Even when I was younger, it seemed too still, too stale. I didn't think about what the freedom really meant until I got older and understood the value of money, to be shackled by it.
My favorite thing about this video is that it's probably going to be like 7 minutes of us just basically cleaning it out. It was a box, it's still a box.
Slightly better looking box.
Not even better looking, it's just like minus 2 inches of wall on each side. It's good that we're doing this video and then stopping and then doing another video, because the next video is mostly us taking down the shit we did on the first video because we don't like it a year later.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Like, I don't understand. I watched this video. They talked about all this stuff. There was none of this stuff in the video. A shower?
They have a shower?
You guys don't even have a sink.
We still don't have a sink.
You have an empty box.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about sanding.
Okay, let's do another take and just talk. This is taking a long time.
Yeah, I guess it is taking a long time.
And we're still working on it.
Oh, you mean the truck, not the song.
This song is taking a long time.
Just because you can't read the script.
So yeah, this video is just showing us mostly insulation, and it's showing, I don't know, well, I sanded the floor and stained the floor and a lot of pictures of randomness.
Honestly, I have no clue because you've been compiling this video for weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't seen any of it.
It's mostly just Amy's boobs.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Here are my boobs, cutting some wood. Here are my boobs, doing insulation.
It's not my fault your boobs do lots of cool stuff. When you see the shot, you see the shot.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But you can talk.
Okay, so our insulation. We did a lot of research and we read about different types of insulation and what our values are. We decided that the project was too big for us. We asked a bunch of people on Craigslist to come and give us estimates of what they can do. And then we stole the best idea and did it ourselves.
Yeah, that was really dick of us.
That was really dick of us.
We didn't mean to, but we just kept meeting people that were kind of flake, and we were working, and money was kind of an issue. I think we probably could have easily hired that one tall guy.
Tall guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was so tall he could have reached everything.
He wanted to to take our truck though. I didn't want him to just have our truck in front of his house. This like stranger off Craigslist. There's something weird about it. And then I was the one that's like, we need to do this ourselves because this is our home and we need to know how it was done. And we need to look at our walls and we need to feel proud of what we've done. And then like probably a week into the project, it was just like, oh fuck, nothing's working. This is horrible.
Yeah, so what was it? I mean, the insulation that we used was the best R value per inch, isn't it? Like it's 7, I think, or at least 6 something for the.
Yeah, what we did for an actual explanation is we bought big blocks of foam insulation. We put them on all the walls. The hardest part was we have these like beams that go throughout the truck, and we were trying to figure out how to cover those beams too, so they were well insulated. We tried wood, we tried all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so we tried cutting all these wood beams and screwing them into these bars, but the wood was just way too thick, and it just wasn't flexible enough. So JP had the idea of actually covering those beams in insulation. So we cut big strips of the block insulation to cover the beams, and that was really helpful. And then what we did is we bought a spray foam kit online.
And what would you say, $600?
It was about a little over $600. And actually, we didn't have a place to work on the truck at this time, so we got all of the block foam up. We cut it all, we got it all up, and then we put on hazmat suits, because you have to wear hazmat suits, in a Vaughn's parking lot. And we filled in all the cracks in between the block foam with foam insulation, like in our full hazmat suits in like this public parking lot. But we never got yelled at. Okay, so like we can be out there in hazmat suits spraying stuff, and I guess everyone just assumes that we're official.
I think they're just like, whatever they're doing, I do not want to be close to that.
Maybe.
Not going to confront that.
But it's really worked out well. And then we insulated the loft. We put up foam insulation, and then we also sprayed everything around the loft with the extra spray foam we had, because
I think the thing that we did that worked out the best is, so it came and it had all those boards across, and figuring out how to insulate below that was kind of a hassle because we had to take them all down. But then instead of just leaving them down, we put them all back up, which allowed us to put wood on top. And so we can anchor anything, and we have now anchor anything to the walls. And if we pay attention to where those beams are underneath, then it can actually be really weight bearing too.
That's seriously probably the most frustrating thing we did, but it was worth it.
It took a long time. Everything has taken way longer. That's, I think, the biggest thing I would say is that unless you've done it before, unless you're a construction worker, everything will take probably like 3 times at least as long as you plan out.
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing to say about sanding. We bought sandpaper. We put the sander on the floor.
I mean, I guess there's stuff to say about staining, but
the biggest thing is that for us it was a waste. I thought it looked really cool. I mean, we mixed blue and black and had this kind of like myriad of colors thing going, but ultimately it didn't age well at all.
Well, part of why it didn't age well is because we have been living in this truck while building it, and so to do a wood floor properly, you need several layers of epoxy finish, and we only did one layer?
Yeah, and then within probably like a few months we scratched it up by moving furniture in there. We've had just, tons and tons of different phases of working on the truck since then. So that would definitely be something we should have done. I think we should have sanded it just because it made me feel cleaner in there, but then just left it unfinished for a while.
Yeah. Well, the epoxy layer, it takes like 24 to 48 hours to dry before you can put another layer. So it basically would have just, had us depending on family and friends for a really long time if we had done it properly.
And it would stink for like a week sometimes.
Yeah, since it's a really small, it was unventilated at that point, space, we really couldn't be in there with the oil fumes.
I mean, the biggest thing is, so for us, it was Stealth RV was really the intent, and with the insulation, you can't really hear us talking in there, but you can hear every single step we take. So anything that we could put on the floor that would damper our steps to be heard from outside would be awesome.
Yeah, it's hard though because the truck shakes anyway.
Don't down on my. We're gonna put some flooring on there. It's gonna be perfect.
The truck is still gonna shake.
No, it won't shake. The right flooring and it won't shake.
Here's a piece of advice that's totally off topic. If you buy a used truck, make sure you check the shocks. The shocks are underneath where the tires are. I cannot describe verbally what they're supposed to look like, but look online about what they're supposed to look like because ours are bent inwards and they're not as effective because of it. And it's a very expensive. I don't know. I never really remember wanting a house. Even when I was younger, it seemed too still or too stale. I didn't really think about what freedom meant until I got older and I understood the value of money.
We were both working corporate jobs at the time. 9 to 5, overtime, the grind. You know how it is.
Everyone there seemed bound to their seat by something. A greater obligation not to what they had, but instead to what they owed. I didn't really want that for myself.
Me neither. I honestly, at this point, I would just recommend using, what do we want to do ultimately? Or what's it called? Poly something, or plastic flooring. What is plastic flooring called? Laminate?
Yeah, like laminate flooring. And like if you like the wood look, then you've got every option in the world. If you don't like the wood look, then, I mean, they have cheesy stone, but we're kind of having trouble finding something spacey. So we're probably going to end up using like the garage race deck.
So we live in this truck, which we built ourselves.
We didn't build the truck. The truck came pre-built.
Fine, we didn't build the truck, but we built, well, in this video I won't show you anything that we built. So we wanted to get a truck that had a grandma's attic. I don't know, I think it's just like a childhood fantasy to have a bunk bed sort of thing, and I think it's actually really practical too, because you're taking the bed area is probably what we hang out 80%, well, 100% right now, but.
Here's my advice if you want to build a truck with a loft. Look for water damage. That's the most important thing. So like water damage will show up if you go up to the loft. There'll be like parts of it towards the seam that are kind of like messed up, really soggy, obviously water damage. We had to get ours fixed because of the water damage because it wasn't really structurally sound and it cost a ton of money. We probably could have done it ourselves, but we wanted something really professional. And we've still had leaks too, which we've had to continually fix. So if you see a lot of water damage, there's a good chance that it leaks when it rains.
What did we pay? I think it was $600 to replace basically just like a 8x3 foot piece of wood.
It's a blur of my anger.
It was marathon. There's just such a small amount of people that can actually work and do anything useful on a truck like that.
Yeah, there really is. He gave us an estimate that was so much lower than what he charged at the end of the day. And I got really pissed off.
But it's because your truck is there. What are you going to do? Oh, yeah, well, we drove to some place in LA.
Burrito.
Yeah. So which was like an hour and a half. It's not like we're going to drive back there. We had to drive 2 vehicles and the whole thing. So that once they had it, they knew they had us.
Yeah, we called them and they said, oh, it'll be around $400. And we were like, oh, man, that's a lot of money, but okay. And then we brought the truck there and they called us the next day and we're like, it's going to be like $600 and something. And I was pretty livid.
I really want to plastic dip that whole outside of the truck someday if it comes down in cost, because it would waterproof it and it would like make it look new at the same time.
This guy at school plastic dipped his Chrysler and it looks stupid. Oh, it looks so bad. So I'm kind of confused about plastic dip right now.
Our truck would look cool.
I don't know about that. He parks in the handicap places and he smokes e-cigs in his front seat while he blasts music and his window's down just a little bit. So like all of the smoke is just coming out of his window. He looks ridiculous.
Plasti Dip looks good online, although a lot of stuff that we did looks really good in pictures, or some things look good in pictures that didn't look good there, vice versa.
That last thing that you made that was a suggestion from Pinterest, just think about how that came out.
Uh-oh. Hi.
How are you?
Good, how about you?
Did it break down or something?
No, we're just staining the floors.
Okay, but then how come in this parking area?
Why not? We're just looking for a place, so we figured just park behind where we wouldn't bother anybody. Where nobody needs to park. There's obviously plenty of parking, so.
Okay. Well, because this is somebody else's private property.
It's Vaughn's private property,
I
right?
know whose it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's uses that are allowed on the property and there's other things that aren't.
Okay, we're not looking to cause any trouble.
We don't have a place. I mean, if we had a piece of property where we could do this, we would love to do it on our own property, but we don't have the means. So, I mean, if we need to go somewhere else to do it, then we will, but we figure we're not.
Where are you gonna take the truck when you're done?
You know what, we park it usually,
Sorry?
we usually park at different grocery stores. We've been doing that for 4 months now and never had an issue. As long as we move it every day.
You guys live in Moore Park?
Yeah, we actually live in Camarillo.
So then this is used for what kind of business?
It's not used for a business. We're actually converting it to be a RV. We want to travel. So we work our day jobs and then this is our pleasure after work. We're slowly building it up.
But you guys both live in Camarillo. How come you don't take it to Camarillo?
We do.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, my parents live in Moore Park, so we came to visit them. We actually had it parked in front of their house for a while, and we were doing some work there, but to be respectful to the neighborhood, we moved it. Because they live in a cul-de-sac with the homeowners association and all that jazz.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't keep it here beyond today, because what'll happen is these neighbors here, there's one or two that are always calling and complaining about stuff that goes on behind this
Okay.
shopping
Sure.
center.
That's no problem.
We'll move it then, definitely.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. You
Two.
too.